I think that's a good segue to this next lady, and then this is our transition from music to movies.
And I know, well, this one kind of is in both categories.
It's in both categories.
So the stage is yours.
Well,
because I don't got a lot for this one.
Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Not normally what we talk about.
No, but there is a movie component.
There is a movie component.
This is a layered topic that includes both movies and music. And as we are a marriage of both at this podcast, it's kind of perfect.
And I think that Lauryn Hill is the perfect segue because Lauryn Hill, because Taylor Swift has experienced some of what Lauryn Hill is dealing with.
Very similar, yes. Not identical, but similar.
Exactly. So Taylor Swift cannot perform her music. Or rather, she can't. Taylor Swift does not have the rights to her music and the original albums that she recorded. So she decided to record Taylor's versions, which is super smart if you ask me.
Yep.
And she's been re-recording her albums and re-releasing them.
Yep.
So now she owns them.
Yep.
And making little tweaks and doing little things with it, and people are loving it. People are really excited. 1989 just came out, and
it's out already. I thought it comes out soon.
I think it just came out.
What I do know is it's expected to sell 1.5 million.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out this week.
Okay,
but in doing that, she's also recorded a lot. I just want to point out that Taylor Swift her career is at this point is at 15 years.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't realize, I guess because I wasn't paying it, I wasn't keeping up with her career or anything like that, but she's been in the game for 15 years. So maybe even a little bit longer than that. But I think her first album came out 15 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So the movie happened. The movie is the concert.
I'm going to say, so she went on her most recent tour.
Right. I got a little lost in my thoughts.
I got your back, player. That's what a co-host is supposed to do.
I got a little lost in my thoughts. Yes. So she's been re-releasing the music, and she had several albums that she recorded. I think she recorded 2 or 3 albums during lockdown alone. And she said, these are her words, that she had, I believe, 5 albums where she hadn't done tours for them for one reason or another. And she decided that she was going to do a show where she was like, why don't I just combine it all into one tour?
There you go.
And she said people were like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Perform for 3.5 hours and just do all the albums? And she was like, yeah. And I'm going to call it the Eras Tour. And so that is literally what she's been doing. She's been touring. I think she's on the European leg of her tour now, but she did her US tour over the summer and she performed every single album. She maybe didn't perform every single song from every album, but each era of Taylor Swift is included in the concert. So basically what she did was they filmed the LA concert, and that's what's being shown in theaters
it's one concert in full? It's one concert in full.
Okay. I imagine that they probably took bits and pieces from other shows, but it's the LA show. Okay. It's definitely the LA show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's her performing at SoFi Stadium. It is 3 hours. It's over 3 hours. In fact, they had to cut it down to get it into the movies, because it was too long. So I think the movie version of it caps out somewhere around 3 hours and 10 minutes. But her show is actually about 3 hours and 30 minutes long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting their money's worth.
They're getting their money's worth.
Now we know why Ticketmaster broke.
Exactly. They're getting their money's worth. I went to see it.
Not the concert.
Not the concert, but I went to see the movie version of the concert.
So here is Dash review of, what's it called technically, the movie?
Eras.
That's what the movie's called, Eras?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
all I know is it says Taylor Swift in all capitals.
Right. It's the Eras tour. So it's all concert. It's nothing else, and I don't think it could be because they had to cut it down. So it's not. I know Beyonce's movie concert is coming out soon, and
December 1st,
and we're anticipating that there's going to be like a lot of behind the scenes and things like that. Probably something similar to Homecoming. This was not that. This was just the concert from start to finish. I knew more Taylor Swift music than I thought. I sang along.
Okay, so you were Swiftie.
A little bit. I'm a little Swift. I'm a little Swift. I thought she did a great job.
I'm a little Swift, man. That was great.
Listen, there are a lot of unpopular opinions. There are a lot of opinions about Taylor Swift.
But we talking about the movie.
We are.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of those opinions are not around. They're around her, not the film.
Right, but I think I think that people say a lot of things that deter them from seeking out her music and probably deterred them from seeing this, right?
Okay.
Now, she's not the best singer in the world, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean, no, is she like my favorite singer, or do I think her music is better than, other artists? No, but I'm not here to compare her to anyone else. I'm here to look at, identify what I thought was interesting about what she did. I thought she was very engaging.
Okay.
She was really engaging. She interacted with the audience. I think the thing that's weird about Taylor Swift is she reads young. She's not that young. She's 33 years old, but she comes off a little teenager to me. And I think that's part of the thing that maybe people don't like. But I actually thought that she was very engaging. I thought that she had great personality in her show.
Okay.
She interacted with the crowd really well. She told stories in between the songs. She's super talented. Like, she was on the piano, playing the piano. She was playing her guitar. I was like, how?
Yeah, I think she's played the guitar since she came out.
Yeah.
Because I remember very early footage of her just doing her thing on the guitar. Now, piano, I've never seen her on a piano before.
She was playing the piano. But I thought it was really funny. She walked over to the piano at one point and she was telling the story. This is when she started talking about how she decided to do the Eras tour. And she goes towards the piano and she puts her arm up and she leans forward and she's like talking to the thousands of people in the audience. And then she goes, what? She's like, what am I doing? It's like she
got caught in the moment.
It's like she got caught up in the moment and forgot that she was on stage with thousands of people in the audience.
That's cool.
And that made me, I thought that was so endearing. And it didn't look fake or staged or anything. It looked like she genuinely was just comfortable with being there and, talking to the audience and all of that. And I really appreciated that. I think if you can engage people, you've got it, right? Yeah. The performances were great. I thought the music, she sang the music well. She performed the music well. For what it is, like, I'm not, like I said, the music, if you tell me, Deserted Island and you can only take 3, I was about to say CDs. You can only have 3 artists that you take. I'm probably not taking Taylor Swift, but to go and, like, I would have seen that show live if someone gave me tickets. I would have seen that show live. I wouldn't have hesitated. I would have gone to see that show live. If somebody told me next year, oh, I've got these Taylor Swift tickets, do you want to go? I would go because I thought it was great. I think that she gave what she sells. I don't think think she reinvented the wheel, but I think she gave what Taylor Swift gives.
Got you.
And I was okay with that. I was into that. And the young lady that I took,
your niece,
yes, she had a blast. She was, I mean, she likes Taylor Swift currently. Like she's into Taylor Swift, so she was excited. We were singing the songs, and we were having a good little time. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And so, as a film, you feel
it was long.
Yep.
I had to, bathroom break.
Okay.
That's important.
Yes, it is.
That's important. I thought it was super long, but I didn't think it was long to the point where I was like, oh gosh, how much more time do we have?
Okay, that's good.
I didn't feel like that. And maybe it was the bathroom break that broke it up for me. But in fact, my niece said to me at one point, she goes, I have to use the bathroom. And I was like, can we wait until this era is over? Because it was one that I was very familiar with. So I was like, can we? But then a song came on that I did not know, and it was super long. So we went to the bathroom during that song. But yeah, I was like, can we? Not this era, because I don't know the newer eras, but I know the older ones.
Gotcha.
So I thought it was good. It was a nice little sing along.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I know you said you didn't care for this off pod. You said you didn't care for this style of movie or whatever. It's not really a movie. In fact, AMC, when it was starting, they didn't say, normally they say enjoy the movie. They say enjoy the concert.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I mean, I might know 3 songs because they were played on the radio so much. But that's probably it. And so when it was just about the music, I didn't think that fit here.
Yeah.
But once we start talking about a film, and by the way, something you did not mention is that film has done exceptionally well in the box office.
It has.
And so that's something we do talk about here. We talk about films that are doing well, films that we've seen, and also that re-release of 1989 and the huge numbers they're saying it's going to sell or did sell. I don't know what it sold. I know the projections were what I brought to you and said, oh, we should probably discuss it.
Right.
As well, because now it is also not only the film, but this music and re-releasing music is popular, but largely people's re-releases have not done well. They kind of either fly under the radar or they're announced, but people will say like, this is not as good as the original. I even feel that way about some of the artists I like that are older and have re-released songs. I feel like, the re-release, not really the same. Cadence was different. Maybe you're a little older. Your voice doesn't sound the same. You can't hit the notes, whatever. But I think that, it became a topic that was too large for us to ignore. The film is doing very well in theaters. 1989 was said to be projected to sell 1.5 million. Listen, it doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah. Projections
for album sales are down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're not hearing those numbers today in most genres. And so it became this multi-layered conversation that I felt, you saw the movie, you can critique the movie, you can give us your movie review. And then there are other parts of what we talk about here that are part of the conversation now.
And I think what's really interesting too is her level of output.
Yeah.
Because not only is she releasing Taylor's versions, but when she said she recorded 2 to 3 albums during lockdown, which for celebrities, lockdown was pretty short, but there's like 2 or 3 albums that she performed that she was like, I just wrote these, there was not much else to do. So I was just writing and that's that. And she writes her own music, so that's a thing too. One of the albums is it's like she wrote it, she said it's not real, like she wrote it like it was a story. I forget which album. I think it's called Folklore actually. and she wrote it like it's a story about different characters. She said she just created these characters and wrote about them, and that's that album, which I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, the volume in terms of how many people her music reaches, crazy. Yeah. I just think that's wild. I don't see how much she sold, but I do see the album in 1989 that was released a week ago was the biggest streaming day for an album in 2023 on Spotify and of all time in Amazon Music.
There you go.
So in the US, it logged the biggest sales week of Swift's career. Her 13th number one on the Billboard 200. Her record, it says, I'm just going to read this. Her record extending sixth album to sell over 1 million first week copies. And the highest vinyl sales week of the 21st century, becoming the best-selling album of 2023.
Wow.
It topped the charts in 14 territories globally.
That's wild.
Listen. Somebody likes it, is all I got to say.
A lot of somebodies.
Yeah. Because the reason why I'm speaking that way is because, and we don't have to get into it, but I think in terms of when we're talking about the culture, and we're not talking about Taylor Swift when we're talking about the culture, but when we're talking about the culture, there's a disconnect. Like, I feel like when we talk about the culture, there's certain artists outside of the culture that we widely respect and will collaborate with, or just, maybe sample their music or whatever it is, right? Taylor Swift is not one of those people. No. I feel like the culture does not care for her in a widespread way. Maybe there are people who have an interest, but I feel like for the most part, it's not like, she's not one that, we kind of take under our wing, or,
because she's not really of the culture. So.
Right. But I feel like
she did have the one Apple commercial where she's on the treadmill bumping, was it Drake and Future? But yeah. I mean, that's about it. We don't see her dating our men, quote unquote, I guess is the way to say it. We don't see her at the parties. We don't see her. Right. We don't even see her do like Adele, where Adele, we always see the different videos of Adele going crazy when Monster's on, or doing Nicki Minaj's part, all animated for Monster.
Well, Adele is Jamaican.
Yeah.
So, as well as Celine Dion.
But she's outside of the culture.
Just joking.
Goofball.
You remember when Adele had them braids with the dreadlocks?
I don't actually. Sorry. I don't know anything about that.
I'm gonna find a picture for you. Okay. You gotta throw that up. Yeah, you gotta throw that up when you do the pod. I'm gonna find it.
Chris.
I'm gonna find it.
If she finds it, add it in.
This is amazing though, in terms of her reach and breaking records. I mean,
yeah, of course.
It's interesting to see. But yeah, that's all I got there. Not our normal brand of content, but really
it is because of the film,
right?
I think because of the film and the whole re-release thing, it became fitting for our pod.
Yeah,
because we come up here and we do movie releases and we speak about music industry happenings.
Yeah,
and this is both of those.
This is true. Well, let's move on because that's.
Yes, you've been Swift long enough.
A little Swift.
You know what I'm saying? Dash, aka Lil Swift. You know what I'm saying? That's the merch, Lil Swift. Yo, Lil Swift being our first merch would be crazy. That would be crazy if Lil Swift was our first our first piece of merch.
That would be wild.
That would be wild. You in a blonde wig, Lil Swift?
What? No, I'm never wearing a blonde wig. No.
That would be great.
Mm-mm.
How about blonde braids? Would you do blonde braids and be Lil Swift? Oh, you thinking about
They gotta have like a brown hue. It can't be fully like I'm not gonna be like platinum blonde. You gotta be like a honey blonde or something like that. And even then, I'm not really a blonde braids girl, but it's fine.
I got you.
Do your thing. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
I mean, I'm sure Chris could edit your hair blonde,
No, he will not.
You see, Chris, you never want to have fun.
Let's make that clear right now. Chris is not making my
Chris,
braids
you
blonde.
have all right. Chris, I give you permission to take my hair and turn it blonde if you need to. Don't worry about it. Chris Brown style. Don't worry.
That was not a good look on him. And it won't be a good look on you.
I'm just saying, if it's for merch, he could do it. He could do it.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on, okay? Let's move on to some scandal.
We don't talk about scandal on this podcast.
Oh, well, yes, we do.
Oh, man. All right.
Yes, we do. I mean, since we're talking about white people, we might as well talk about...
We have more whites on the pod?
Alec Baldwin.
Oh, yes, he is a white we talk about, yep.